Allisons soccer coach Janet Rayfield with us. Split the weekend, Janet. Loss at Iowa, win against Nebraska on Sunday. Biggest difference between the two games in your mind on how your team performed?
Well, I think the biggest difference probably was just the attitude with which we approached the game. I think we went into Iowa a little bit tentative, really trying to do all the right things instead of just trying to play and compete. And I think from Thursday to Sunday, especially I think with our returning players who are trying to teach these young ones what Big Ten soccer is all about and trying to get them on board, and they spent their energy doing that instead of doing what they're supposed to do and what they're good at. And I think from Janelle to Alina, even to Claire, a sophomore but still a year under her belt, those players just came out on Sunday and just did what they're supposed to do, and by that they just inspired this team to be better on Sunday. I don't think we could have had a much bigger gap between our performance on Thursday and our performance on Sunday. It was night and day difference. I would say probably our weakest performance of the season on Thursday and probably one of our best on Sunday. So certainly now we know what we're capable of at the Big Ten level, and now we're going to hold ourselves to that standard going forward.
Certainly always great to get goal scoring, but I think even more impressive maybe to shut out a team like Nebraska that's always very dangerous on the attack. Just talk about the defensive performance on Sunday. What was the biggest key to getting the clean sheet?
I think one of the keys was we defended all over the field. They stretch the field a lot, and they force you to defend individually and collectively all over the field. And we did that. We got pressure on the ball early. Nicole Brees and Reagan Robichaud and our backs bumping into the midfield. We just were able to get pressure on the ball so much earlier, and it made it so much easier on our back line. But our back line also read the game better. We certainly learned from Iowa to Nebraska in terms of reading service and dropping, and understanding how you deal with a player that plays around with that offside line, and how you have to deal with that. So I think we were just better overall defensively as a team. And when you can defend together and your forwards are as much responsible for your defense as your goalkeeper, then you can get a clean sheet against a team like Nebraska.
Talk about Allison's performance, especially on Sunday where she got the first goal for you, got the assist. Talk about her development as a playmaker for your team.
She continues to get better and better, and we're finding her the ball more often. And, we've talked a lot in her development about she doesn't have to do something great every time she touches the ball, but she needs to touch the ball a lot. She should be the spoke that the ball goes through, and she's starting to do that. So she's seeing the ball a lot and making good decisions. She didn't have pressure on the ball, saw the goalkeeper hit a great shot to set that up. But she's also finding places and finding gaps and playing balls. And, I think her play just continues to get better. And her engine is so great that the longer the game goes on, the more she's able to find the ball, because she's continuing to run at the same pace from the start of the game till the 90th minute of the game. And there's not a lot of players in this league that can have that kind of engine. That was one of Vanessa's strengths, was just the ability to continue to run at the same pace at the beginning or at the end as in the beginning. And Allison certainly has that trait, and so now she's really starting to use that so that she can continue to set play throughout the game. In addition to that, I would say she's becoming a much better defensive player. Her defensive presence, we actually put her in a position to battle for 50-50 ball so that, Casey and Jenna could be free and actually go after and win the ball in the air. And her increased defensive presence allows us to do that.
And Janelle, I don't feel like I've asked you a lot about Janelle this year, just because I think we kind of expect her by now to be that finishing presence up top for you. But 2 goals on Sunday, she's up to 6 on the season. Talk about what she's done again this year.
Yeah, and I think if there was a player who led the attitude change from Thursday to Sunday, it was Janelle. And I think she takes a lot of responsibility to teach the young players around her and to work with them. And she knows she's got a target on her back, so she's thinking about playing off and getting other people involved. And I think all of that has sort of usurped her. I'm going to get this ball and score goals. That's what I do. And so we really sort of gave her that mentality back. And you get a 2-goal performance that results from it, but you also get a team that is kind of rallied by that and realize they've got someone that they can get the ball to that's going to go at and going to create havoc. And whether she scores or not, it's going to cause the other team problems. And the attitude alone, I think, is something that she'll continue to carry forward as she goes.
And noticed that Cara didn't play at all over the weekend for you in either game. Saw her with the walking boot on today. Just talk about her situation a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's got a fracture in a bone in her foot, so it looks like she'll be out for a couple more weeks until we can get that healed up. So she's going to be in a boot for a while, and certainly hoping she's learning from the sidelines as she goes. And like with any injury and all of those things, players are having to step up. Catherine Rates did a great job. Alia Abudula has come in and give us some great minutes and allowed us to play briefs up front. So we continue to plug that hole and be dangerous. It was great on Sunday to see us have a defensive presence out of our forwards without Cara, because that certainly was something she was giving us at the beginning. And I think we found a way to do that with Brees up front and Catherine Rates up front, and even Megan Green played some over the weekend up front. So certainly have the personnel to do that. And it's great about this team. Sunday was a real team win. And I think team win going from what we've done from the beginning of preseason until to become the team that we were on Sunday. I think you have to claim that as a team victory, because the way they've pushed each other has allowed people to be able to step in and take the role of someone like a Cara or take the role of a Taylor Peterson that we're playing without right now. But this team is filling those holes because of how much work they've done in preparation for that.
Probably has to feel pretty good to be home finally after 3 weeks in a row on the road. Just talk about coming back home and getting a couple on your own field here.
I think just sleeping in your own bed for however many days straight is going to be nice for most of them. They get to take care of schoolwork. It takes some of the stress out. And then you get to play in the place where you're the most comfortable, where you see things every day, where the goal is something you're used to looking at in terms of finding it. And you've got a home crowd to cheer you on. All of those things. I think we know in sports that home field advantage isn't just a myth, it's a reality, and we're certainly going to try to use that. I think it's an important thing to be able to get points at home. You certainly want to get them on the road. 3 points on the road at Nebraska is something we'll certainly take to the bank, but now we've certainly got to take care of business here at home and keep putting those points in the bank.
Indiana struggled a little bit last weekend and started their Big Ten season, but they certainly got some dangerous attacking players, some good defensive presence as well. Talk about the challenges they'll present for you on Thursday.
Yeah, that's a tough start to have to start, Ohio State, Penn State right out of the gate, and certainly I think it was a tough weekend in terms of results, but if you look at the game, they did some great things in those games. And it's an athletic team that, again, has some dangerous threats. Hard to break down. They'll get numbers behind the ball, and they don't give up goals easily. And so, we'll have to be good offensively. We'll have to move the ball. We'll have to get some players involved on the flank. They're certainly not going to give you that central channel to the goal. So we have to be good on the flank, and we'll have to be good in front of the ball, in front of the goal when the ball gets there, because they're not going to give you a ton of chances. And we've got to be solid defensively, because they are pretty efficient in terms of making use of the chances that they get.